What's good, YouTube? Listen, man. I've, okay, so basically, Giants fans are really in love with this Parsons dude. Uh, Now I get it. You know, a lot of Giants fans are very heavy on him. You know, but in hindsight, we're not gonna pick him. I don't see why we should pick him. You know, like I said, man, Rookie rookies back then versus rookies now are totally different. You know, like back then rookies like '05, '04, '06, '07, '08, '09, rookies made an impact tremendously back then. Now it's just rookies are just happy to play in the NBA in the NFL, to be honest with you. Like, is he gonna light it up the first year? Is he gonna become rookie of the year the first year? Like, the last time the Giants picked a linebacker was Carl Banks. Before that, it was Lawrence Taylor. Okay, and then I think a few years after that, it was Carson, and then that's when they had like the Crunch Bunch, which was a weird name to I mean, you had the Steel Curtain, you had the Doomsday, and then you had the you had the Crunch Bunch, and you had the the Purple Eaters. So you just had great defense back in the '80s and '90s, right? And in the year 2000s, you had one and done defenses. You had the Patriots, you had the Buccaneers, you had the Giants, you had the Seahawks. You know, so yeah. So anyways, man. Yeah. So he's not gonna come in here. He's not gonna come in here and just wow everybody week one. You know. Um, but this whole stuff gotta stop. You know. And this is exactly why I'm ashamed to be a Giants fan, because it's people like y'all that know y'all think y'all know everything, which y'all clearly don't. Because if you understand football, the ultimate goal is to protect your quarterback. I don't care if you have fucking Deion Sanders in your defensive lineup. If you cannot protect your quarterback, it's over. And you're running, and you're offensively, you could be loaded. Offensively, you could be loaded. You can have freaking Barry Sanders and and Walter Payton back there. You can have Calvin Johnson and Randy Moss and Wes Welker. And your tight end can be Tony Gonzalez or Shannon Sharp. But if you cannot protect your quarterback, what's the point? What's the point? You know what I mean? That's why I say that it's so hard to fix the offensive line. Why is it the offensive lineman is the worst? Is the most position that other teams struggle. Look at Seattle Seahawks. They have failed to protect Russell Wilson. But you know what? Russell Wilson can scramble. Russell Wilson can do things that other quarterbacks can't. Russell Wilson have weapons. He has a good running game. He has decent wide receivers. He has a good tight end. So why can't Russell Wilson do the things that, like, I mean, why can't the offensive line protect Russell Wilson like the Cowboys can protect Dak? Because the Dallas Cowboys invested in their offensive linemen. In order to protect Dak, You must protect your line of defense. Okay? Like, great, yes. No, like, in today's NFL, nobody cares about defense. Nobody. Nobody cares about defense. Because 5, 10 years from now, or probably not even 10, but 5 years from now, let me see. No, 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 no. Yeah, I'll probably say 5 years from now, where will he be? Where will he wind up 5 years from now? Parsons, he might be out of the league from 5 years from now. Because you know the saying goes, old habits tend to carry around. You know, like yeah, he might say he's changed his life around, but you know, bad things might creep up. You know, like old habits might creep up again. You know, like is he a locker room leader? Is he going to do this? Is he going to do that? You know what I'm saying? Like yes, I know, understand. He had his character issues. He had this and that going on in college. But I'm pretty sure if you looked at him and if you saw his press conferences or his interviews, you could say that he's a changed guy. You know, he's not the same guy that he was in college. He made boneheaded mistakes, stupid decisions. You know, maybe that's why I think he's going to fall. He's not even going to go in the top five. The first top five, he's not going to go. He's probably going to go in the middle, like around 18, 19, 20-ish, you know, stuff like that because of his draft stock, you know. Now, if he was a clean linebacker, didn't have no issues, he would have probably gone number 3 or number 4, you know. But since he has that baggage, he's going to dip down in the draft. Everybody knows that, you know. But, oh, the Giants are picking number 11. We might as well just pick like, when is the last time, outside of Carl Banks and Lawrence Taylor, did we ever draft a linebacker in the first round? No. Like the last linebacker that we had was Antonio Pierce. And we snagged him from the damn Redskins. And after that, he's been our core linebacker since '08, '09, no, '05, '06, '07, '08. Yeah, and then he had to retire in '09 because of a disc injury in his neck. But he was our longest. Well, I'm not gonna say long. Yeah, well, you could say he was our longest linebacker that we had until Michael Boley, came over and you know he did his stance, and after that we just gone through linebackers after linebackers after linebackers after linebackers. We drafted Greg Jones. We drafted Jaquan Williams. We drafted uh, Singer. We drafted Mark. So we have gone through a lot of linebackers that didn't pan out. So what makes you think he's gonna pan out? Is he gonna fit our scheme well? What scheme does he run? Is he an all around player? Can he play inside? Can he play outside? Can he cover tight ends? Can he cover running backs? Can he cover receivers? How fast is he? So those are the questions you have to answer as a GM. You can't just say, "Oh, he's great," because we don't know where he's going to be 5 years from now. We just don't. I don't, but I don't. You don't. So what makes you think that he? What makes you think the Giants are going to pick him? Now, obviously, there's no such thing as more talent. Of course, you're going to need more receivers. You just can't depend on 3 receivers. Sterling Shepard is always in and out. Galladay, God forbids he doesn't get hurt because he has his own history issues too. Waddle, I think they're supposed to be drafting him, but again, he had a horrible knee injury that cost them the whole entire season. So that's something that you have to factor in. Is he durable? Now Parker is probably going to go in the first 3. I think he's going to go probably number 4, number 5. He's going to be off the board. Chase, the LSU receiver, he's probably going to go off the board as well. So Waddle is probably going to be your last line of defense. Or you might pick linebacker, I mean, not linebacker, offensive lineman or edge rusher. And we desperately need an edge rusher. Because if you look at last year, how many sacks we had last year? Nobody can ever tell me. Nobody can even tell me how many sacks we had last year. But y'all can tell me, oh, we kept it close against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Like, do y'all homework. Y'all just talk out the ass sometimes. And this is why y'all not in sports. Well, I'm just playing, but this is why y'all not athletes. I was a former athlete myself. So I know what it takes. You know, our head coach was from Detroit, you know. He loved his Lions. He was a huge Lions fan. You know, like he witnessed the 0-16 stance. You know, he witnessed where, they drafted Calvin Johnson and they drafted Matthew Stafford, you know. So he was a huge Lions fan, you know. So he understands how, like, not he actually he understands, but as fans we have to do our homework too, not just sit there and say, oh, we got to pick him because he's the hottest thing and the media is just blowing him up to be the most hottest thing. Like, there was another situation. Tyron Matthew was projected to be the number 2 pick. If he didn't have all those baggage, if he didn't caught, with drugs, with weed, whatever he was with at the time, he would have probably been the number 2 pick coming out that draft. But he slid. Why did he slide? And if you go look back at Honey Badger College, that dude was all over the place. That dude was like a miniature Troy Polamalu. That dude had instincts like nobody else. Even the head coach, I think Miles, he said that, boy, you cannot coach this dude. Like, this dude has instincts in the back of his head. Like, there's something that you can't coach and you just have it, you know? And he had those character traits. Like, he was instinctive. He knew the play before it snapped. Like, he knew everything. And he was way beyond his years as a player. But why did he slid? Because of character issues, because of this, because of that. But if he was clean, boy, he would have been the number 2 pick. Kind of like how Barkley. If Saquon Barkley had baggage, you think that he would have fallen in the second round? Well, you think that he would have been picked number 2? No, he would have fell because teams want clean players. Teams want clean records. Teams want players that's clean, polished. You're not going to get that all the time because look at Tim Tebow. As great as Tim Tebow was in college, yeah, he had that one stance in Denver, but after that, he's just been a walking piece of mediocrity. You know, he went from the Broncos to the Jets, and then his career was just never the same. You know, and if y'all fans of the Florida Gators, you could say, oh yeah, Tim Tebow, he played differently than he played in college. When he played in college, he was the man. Why didn't he live up to those expectations? Because the offense didn't dictate it around him. They didn't let him play freely. They didn't let him be himself. I mean, Denver tried, but, obviously a dead clock is right twice a day, but Denver tried to. They just killed his career, you know? I mean, he really wanted to go to Jacksonville because that's where he's from, but, obviously, he never got the chance to, you know? But, it is what it is, man. Like, people just need to do their homework, like, for real. Like, y'all just saying stuff because y'all hear other people saying it or y'all hear the media saying it. Like, wake up. He's falling for a reason. And like I said, I'm pretty sure if Parsons was clean, he would have probably been picked number 2 or number 4. But he's probably gonna go if he doesn't go in the first round, he probably might go in the second round. Because I know a lot of teams are gonna pass up on him. Oh, we don't need no linebacker. We have a lot of offensive linemen in this draft that can protect our quarterback. Oh, we don't need a linebacker. We have a lot of edge rushers. Oh, we don't need a linebacker. We have a lot of raw receivers. So, like I said, if he doesn't get picked in the first 32 rounds, in the first 32 picks, you know why. You know why. Now, some boneheaded team is going to make that mistake and pick him because of his tangibles, something that you can't coach, you know. Who? I don't know. Like I said that the Washington team is the perfect fit for him. The Washington team is the perfect fit for him because they need a linebacker. And I think if it's not, these are the only 3 teams I can see him going to. If he doesn't go to the Giants, which obviously I don't see him necessarily going to the Giants anyways. The Eagles, the Patriots, well, I said 3, right? You know, there's 5 teams I can see him going to. I can see him going to the Eagles. I can see him going to the Chiefs. I can see him going to the Buccaneers. I can see him going to the Washington team. Or I can see him going to the Cardinals. Those are the 5 teams I can see him going to. But no, he's not going to the Giants. Because I think that's a slap in the face to Lawrence Taylor because Lawrence Taylor meant so much to the Giants. That's why after that, they've never picked a linebacker. Since Lawrence Taylor, since Lawrence Taylor and Carl Banks and Carson, they have never picked a linebacker in the first round. It was either defensive players or offensive linemen or receivers or defensive tackle or any other position except linebacker. They have never picked a linebacker. Never. So this might be the first time they pick a linebacker in a while, And then there's another thing where, other YouTubers are trying to compare Parsons to Lawrence Taylor. See where I'm going with see where they're going with this? Already with the comparisons. Like, let the dude play in the NFL already. Like, he hasn't played one snap in the NFL. You're already comparing him to... This is why sports is dead in America. If you want to know why sports is dead in America, you know why. Because it's stupidity right there. Like, the dude haven't really played one snap and you're already comparing him to Lawrence Taylor. For what? For what? And of course, Lawrence Taylor had his problems. But he still went in the second round. I mean, he still went number 2 overall. Despite his baggage, he still went number 2 overall. And it paid out. So you can't take what happened back then and to compare it to now. Because Parsons is not that dude that's just going to come in and just spark your defense right away, Unless he's one of those quick development leader traits. Unless he's one of those quick learners that could just, get the offense just like that, Like even Lawrence Taylor didn't know what to do when he was a rookie. All he knew was just get after the quarterback, Like, just let me get after the quarterback. He didn't care about nothing else. Just get after the quarterback, It's not like he didn't understand plays. It's just that, he just had a knack for getting after the quarterback, Because that's the job of an outside linebacker. He plays outside, So he plays between the A gap and the B gap, or the C gap or the A gap, whatever you want to call it. You know, so he plays on the outside, right or left outside. So when the quarterback does snap, that's why you have. That's why he slides protection. Nobody could guard him. You put a linebacker. I mean, you put a tight end, a running back, receiver. You pitch a tight end. He was just unguardable. Nobody could guard him. And you telling me that Parsons is that dude? I I seriously don't blame y'all. I think y'all just fell. I think y'all just fell out of love with sports because sports to y'all is kind of like a fantasy. Like we could just sit here and make up a whole bunch of ridiculous shit that doesn't make sense. But to y'all it makes sense because y'all the fans. Y'all the consumers. Y'all not playing. So y'all can make up so much ridiculous bull crap because y'all believe it. I don't. I don't think Parsons is Lawrence Taylor. Now, can he be potentially good? We'll have to see. What teams he what team will pick him? Will he go undrafted? Wells Walker was pretty darn good, but nobody picked him. And look how he turned out. One of the best wide receivers of his generation. I'm not gonna say all time, but of his generation. Tony Gonzalez. So I don't even know why I say Tony. Oh yeah, I think Tony Gonzalez was drafted. Who wasn't drafted? Who? Brian Fletcher. Fletcher? No, no, no. I forgot. But anyways, man, like, comment, subscribe. Till next time, take care of yourself and each other. And it's just ridiculous the stuff that people think, man. Like that's why you have a brain, you know. Like you can't just sit up there and believe everything people say, you know. Especially the media. If you believe the media, then you super lost. If the media tells you to go right, you're gonna go left. Well, if the media tells you to go right, you're gonna go right. Because the media knows all the information. They already have all the other information, so they just spitting out lies. The media knows all the information. They know what teams they know what players the teams are gonna go to. They just put a false narrative out there so y'all can get them guessing. Oh, he's gonna go here. He's gonna go here. That's why y'all do all these stupid mock drafts that don't even mean shit. Like, come on. That's why I say the NFL draft is just too predictable. The NBA draft obviously is mad different. I'm gonna do a topic on that too. You know, which one is different, or which one is different, the NBA draft or the NFL draft? Now, obviously, the NBA draft, I'm gonna leave it for the next video. But all I'm gonna say is that I'm not saying that Parsons is a bad player. But like I said, if he didn't have baggage, he would have probably gone number 3 or number 4 easily. Because what teams look for is clean players. They don't need distractions. They don't need all this goofy stuff because they're trying to run a team and they're trying to win championships. So if you're a distraction, that makes them look bad, you know? Why do you think Baker is not on the team no more? Why do you think Prince Amukamara didn't last long? And those are the last 2 picks the Giants actually had, you know? Surtain, this Surtain dude, you know, that's Alabama. Look, like I said, I would pick an offensive player rather than the defensive player if we picking any player from Alabama, because I don't trust Alabama players defensively. You know, we had Landon Collins. Look how that turned out. You know, now I'm not saying that every Alabama player is different or the same. But I think you just get more production out of, offensive players from Alabama. Look at Cooper. Look at Julio Jones. You know, I think Mark Ingram dad went to Alabama, if I'm not mistaken. So you get more production on the offensive side from Alabama players than you do defensively. Like look at Ronaldo McClain. Bus came out of Alabama, went to the Raiders. So, like I said, man, like, comment, subscribe. Till next time, take care of yourself and each other.